Be honest. How many times have you wanted to give up, thinking it's already too late? This video will show you. As long as you breathe, you still have a chance. Your breath isn't done yet. Picture this. You're sitting alone, maybe in your kitchen with the clock ticking louder than usual. You wonder, is this it? Did my chance already pass me by? It feels like life has become a long waiting room, where everyone else got called in for something exciting, except you. But here's the hidden truth no one shouts loud enough. As long as your lungs are still working, you have a ticket back into the game. Science even backs this up. Neurologists have discovered that the brain doesn't retire when you do. It's constantly creating new connections, a process called neuroplasticity. Yes, even at 50, 60, 70, or 80, your brain can still adapt, grow, and rewire itself like a stubborn teenager learning a new app. So when you whisper, "I'm too old," your nervous system rolls its eyes and says, "Nice try. Keep moving." Take breathing itself. It's both automatic and manual. You can let it run on autopilot, or you can take charge and guide it. That's the metaphor for your whole life right now. Sure, some things are out of your control. Aches, losses, memories of failures. But the next breath? That's yours to shape. One inhale is proof that your body still believes in you. One exhale is permission to release the story that you're done. Think of all the people who didn't get another breath today. The fact that you did means the universe handed you another round. It doesn't care about your wrinkles, your regrets, or your broken plans. It only cares, are you going to waste this breath, or use it as the start of a new chapter? Because here's the twist. Your life isn't measured by the years you've already burned through. It's measured by what you do with the air still left in your lungs. That's the currency you have right now. Oxygen. Spend it wisely. And if you think this is just poetic fluff, let me remind you. Physiologists have proven that conscious breathing lowers stress hormones, balances blood pressure, and literally gives your heart a smoother rhythm. Translation: every deliberate breath is a biological vote for staying alive. And not just alive, but alert, hopeful, ready to oh no, you're not sitting in life's waiting room. You're sitting on the launch pad. And the countdown doesn't end until your breath does. Until then, every inhale is a door swinging open. The fear of being left behind. Some fears come dressed in monsters or shadows. Yours comes in silence. The silence when the phone doesn't ring, when the kids don't visit, when friends drift away one funeral at a time. That silence tells you a cruel lie, that you've been left behind. And once that thought sneaks in, motivation slips out the back door. Psychologists have studied this exact fear. It's called social exclusion anxiety, and it's wired into your biology. Thousands of years ago, being left behind by the tribe meant certain death. Your brain still carries that alarm system. So when the world moves faster, when technology feels like a foreign language, your nervous system panics. They're leaving without me. I don't belong anymore. But here's the trick. What feels like a verdict is really just chemistry. Loneliness raises cortisol, the stress hormone, making you feel tired, hopeless, even older than you are. Yet the opposite is also true. Connection, Real human connection literally lowers cortisol and releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. Translation: even a short, warm conversation can reset your body's stress clock. Take the story of Mr. Singh, a 78-year-old retired mechanic in Toronto. After his wife passed, he barely spoke to anyone for months. He thought he'd become invisible. But when his granddaughter taught him how to use video calls, suddenly his evenings were filled with laughter, silly faces, and stories from across the world. His blood pressure improved. He slept better. The only thing that changed? He wasn't left behind anymore. So, if you fear being forgotten, here's your reality check. You're not invisible. You're simply unplugged. The cure isn't grand speeches or lifelong plans. It's one connection, one phone call, one smile in the grocery line. Each small bridge tells your brain, see, you still belong. Because the world isn't rushing past you. It's waiting for you to wave back. When the body betrays you, imagine waking up one morning and realizing your knees have started negotiating like stubborn politicians. They won't bend without complaints. Your back grumbles every time you sit, and suddenly the stairs feel like Everest. That's the betrayal many people over 50 feel, the body staging a silent rebellion. And with every ache comes a whisper, maybe my best days are gone. But here's where science taps you on the shoulder and says, not so fast. While muscles do shrink with age, research from Harvard Medical School proves that even into your 80s, strength training and gentle movement can rebuild muscle fibers. Your heart, still trainable. Your lungs, still adaptable. And your brain, oh, your brain, is a shapeshifter. Studies on neuroplasticity reveal that the brain can rewire itself after strokes, injuries, and yes, after decades of same old routines. The trick is simple, not glamorous, small, consistent steps. Dr. Teresa Lou-Ambrose, a Canadian researcher, found that seniors who walked briskly 3 times a week improved not only their physical strength, but also their memory and decision-making skills. Translation: when your body feels like it's quitting on you, moving, even a little, sends a loud message back. We're still in business. Think of it like this. Your body is not betraying you. It's simply asking for renegotiation. Instead of sprinting marathons, maybe it wants slow walks. Instead of lifting heavy boxes, maybe it prefers soup cans. Instead of punishing workouts, maybe it thrives on dancing clumsily in the kitchen. Take Margaret, 82, from Vancouver. After 2 hip surgeries, she thought her walking days were over. But she began with 5 minutes around the block, just 5. Within 6 months, she was walking 30 minutes daily, chatting with neighbors, and, ironically, feeling younger than she had in years. Her body didn't betray her. It tested her, and she passed SO. When your body mutters, "I'm tired," answer back with kindness but firmness. We're moving anyway. Because motion is medicine, and your muscles, your joints, and your brain are all still waiting for their next assignment. The cruel mirror. Stand in front of the mirror long enough, and it becomes a heckler. It doesn't show the meals you cooked for your family, the nights you stayed awake comforting someone you loved, or the thousands of moments you proved stronger than you felt. No, it zooms in on crow's feet, thinning hair, and sagging skin, then whispers, "Look, you're fading." That's the trick of the cruel mirror. But here's what it never tells you. While your skin collects wrinkles, your brain collects wisdom. Neuroscientists call it crystallized intelligence, the ability to connect dots, see patterns, and use life experience to solve problems younger minds can't even recognize. Translation: you may forget where you put your glasses, but you're sharper at understanding people, spotting nonsense, and guiding others through storms. There's also research showing older adults experience what psychologists call the positivity effect. The aging brain naturally focuses more on meaningful, emotionally rewarding experiences rather than trivial drama. In short, you stop sweating the small stuff, not because you're jaded, but because your brain has literally upgraded its filters. That's a superpower no 20-something can buy. Let me tell you about Robert, a 74-year-old widower in Ottawa. He hated looking in the mirror, said it made him feel like a ghost of his former self. Then one day, his grandson asked him for advice about a failing relationship. Robert, with decades of love, mistakes, and lessons behind him, gave an answer so raw and true that his grandson later said, "Grandpa, you saved me." That was the day Robert realized the mirror had lied. He wasn't fading. He was becoming irreplaceable. Oh, next time you catch yourself staring too long at those wrinkles, remember, they're just proof you didn't give up when life tried to break you. The mirror only knows your surface. But the world? The world needs what's underneath. Marie's story. Let me introduce you to Marie, a 75-year-old grandmother from Quebec. 2 winters ago, she sat in her tiny living room with the curtains drawn, convinced her life had shrunk to 4 walls and a TV remote. Her husband had passed 5 years earlier, her closest friends were gone, and she felt like the world outside had forgotten she even existed. She told herself, "I'm too old for change. My chance is over." Then came a ridiculous accident. She dropped her grocery bag on the icy sidewalk and a stranger, half her age, helped her up. He didn't just pick up her apples. He invited her to join a local community walking group. At first she laughed it off. Walking? At my age? My knees are traitors. But something about the invitation nagged at her. The next week, she showed up. Marie started small, 10 minutes of shuffling along, bundled in 3 coats. But she kept returning. Science explains why this mattered. Physical activity releases endorphins and boosts dopamine, the same brain chemicals that fight depression and spark motivation. Within weeks, her mood lifted. Within months, her sleep improved. By the following summer, Marie wasn't just walking. She was leading the warm-up stretches. The change wasn't just in her body. Marie's sense of self shifted. She made friends. She started laughing again. She even learned how to text emojis to her grandchildren, who suddenly called more often because grandma's fun again. Marie's story isn't a fairy tale. It's neuroscience plus stubborn courage. She didn't rebuild her life with some grand reinvention. She took one awkward, shaky step and then another. That's it. The lesson? Your new beginning might not start with a miracle. It might start with a dropped grocery bag and the guts to say YES.SO when you think, "I'm too late." Remember Marie? She thought the same thing until she realized, as long as you breathe, you still have a chance. The power of small actions. Here's a sneaky truth your brain doesn't advertise. It's not the giant leaps that change your life. It's the tiny, boring, repeatable steps. But when you're older, those small steps often feel too small to matter. You think, what difference does one walk, one glass of water, one phone call make? Turns out, everything. Researchers at Stanford University proved something fascinating. Consistent microactions can rewire habits faster than bursts of motivation. Think brushing your teeth. You don't hype yourself up with a pep talk before grabbing the toothbrush. You just do it. That same principle applies at 60, 70, or 80. Your brain loves automatic rituals. Once something becomes a small habit, it no longer drains willpower. Take exercise. A 2019 Canadian study showed that seniors who simply stood up from a chair 10 times a day, called the sit-to-stand exercise, gained measurable strength within weeks. No gyms, no memberships, no Rocky soundtrack. Just a chair and persistence. The body listened. Or think socially. One man I knew, 81 years old, decided every morning he'd send a silly emoji to one family member. That's it. Within a month, he had daily conversations with his grandkids who used to ignore his calls. A tiny digital handshake turned into an unbreakable bond. Here's the punchline. Your brain is like a thermostat. Small actions are the clicks that reset its temperature. Skip them, and you drift into hopelessness. Repeat them, and suddenly you've built a life worth waking up to. So no, you don't need a 20-year plan. You need a 20-second action. Tie your shoes. Call a friend. Step outside. Each one is a seed, and seeds don't care how old the soil is. They just grow if you plant them. The power isn't in the size of the action. It's in the fact that you chose to act at all. And at your age, that choice is rebellion, and rebellion is fuel. Your brain hates standing still. Here's something wild. Your brain is addicted to novelty. It's like a toddler in a candy store. Give it the same flavor too many times, and it throws a tantrum. Neuroscientists call this the novelty effect. When you try something new, your brain releases dopamine, the motivation molecule. That chemical doesn't just make you feel good. It literally wakes up your nervous system, sharpens focus, and keeps you alive longer. Now, the tragedy is that many people after 60 stop feeding the brain anything new. Same breakfast, same chair, same TV shows. Comfort feels safe, but to your brain, it's a slow suffocation. That's why so many seniors feel invisible or numb. It's not because the world forgot them. It's because their neurons are yawning. Here's the twist. New doesn't mean skydiving or backpacking across Europe. It can be ridiculously small. Learning 3 words in a new language. Cooking a recipe you've never tried. Even taking a different route to the grocery store forces your brain to build fresh pathways. A 2020 study from the University of Toronto showed seniors who learned simple new skills, like digital photography or knitting, had higher memory scores and emotional well-being compared to those who stuck to passive activities. Take George, 79, who decided to join a local community choir even though he hadn't sung since grade school. At first, he croaked like a broken kettle, but within weeks, his posture improved, his mood lifted, and his doctor literally measured lower blood pressure. Why? Because his brain had something new to chew on. So if life feels stale, don't wait for a miracle. Give your brain a toy. It hates standing still, and the moment you toss it something fresh, it thanks you with energy, curiosity, and, yes, joy. Standing still feels safe. But for your brain, it's slow motion suicide. Keep it moving, keep it curious, and it will keep you alive. The fire in your breath. Imagine sitting in your chair, feeling heavy, stuck, maybe even useless. Now, close your eyes and take one slow, deep breath in. Hold it. Then let it out like you're sighing away an entire lifetime of regrets. That tiny act, so ordinary, so boring, is actually a spark. Because breath is the only bridge between your body and your mind you can control at will. And the moment you take charge of it, everything else starts to shift. Science agrees. Studies from the University of British Columbia show that controlled breathing lowers cortisol levels, slows heart rate, and activates the vagus nerve, which calms your whole nervous system. Translation: one mindful breath can literally flip the switch from panic mode to peace mode. That's not spirituality. That's biology. Try this. Place one hand on your chest, the other on your belly. Inhale for 4 counts. Hold for 4. Exhale for 6. Do it 3 times. That's it. You've just told your brain, we are safe. We are here. We still have control. Repeat this daily, and not only will your stress shrink, but your resilience will quietly grow. Take Rosa, 72, from Montreal. After losing her partner, she spiraled into anxiety, sleepless nights, racing thoughts, constant chest tightness. Her doctor suggested medication, but Rosa also discovered breath work at a senior center. Within weeks of practicing daily, she noticed something shocking. The panic attack stopped. Her grief didn't vanish, but her ability to carry it did. Breath became her anchored. Here's the metaphor. Every inhale is a vote for life. Every exhale a release of the weight you no longer need. You don't need perfect plans, endless energy, or a 20-year vision. You need one more breath, then another. Each one stacks like bricks, slowly building the fire that keeps you warm. Because the truth is, breath isn't just oxygen. It's permission. Permission to start again. Permission to feel alive right now, in this moment, no matter your age. And as long as you're breathing, the fire hasn't gone out. Meaning matters more than age. Here's a riddle. Why do some 85-year-olds glow with energy while some 55-year-olds feel half dead? It's not vitamins, not luck, not even genes, it's meaning. Psychologists call it purpose-driven living, and it outperforms gym memberships and kale smoothies combined. When you wake up with a reason, any reason, your body rallies, your brain fires up, and suddenly age is just background noise. In fact, a massive study published in The Lancet followed thousands of older adults and found that those with a clear sense of purpose lived longer, healthier lives, even after adjusting for income, education, and medical history. Translation: meaning trumps math. It doesn't matter how many candles are on your cake if your soul still has something to burn for. But here's the catch: meaning doesn't need to be grand. You don't have to save the planet, write a novel, or start a foundation. Maybe your purpose is reading bedtime stories to your grandkids. Maybe it's growing tomatoes, volunteering at the library, or finally learning to dance without apologizing for your two left feet. Purpose is personal. It's whatever gets you out of bed without resentment. Take Elena, 80, who started baking bread every Saturday for her neighbors. Nothing fancy, just flour, water, and yeast. But soon, her porch became a gathering spot. People came not only for bread, but for conversation. Elena once thought she had nothing left to give. Turns out, she became the heart of her street. The real question isn't how old are you? The real question is, what are you living for now? The moment you answer that, your age stops being a countdown and starts being a resource. Because meaning doesn't just add years to your life. It adds life to your years. And if you still don't know your answer, congratulations. You've just found your next adventure. A new journey begins. So here we are. You've walked through the fears, the aches, the cruel mirrors, and the quiet lies your mind tells you. But if you've made it this far, it means one thing: you're still breathing. And that breath is proof you're not finished. Not even close. Think about it. Your story isn't a book that ended on page 200. It's an unfinished manuscript, and every morning you wake up, the pen lands back in your hand. Sure, the chapters behind you are filled with mistakes, heartbreaks, and people you miss. But the next page? Blank. Waiting. And no one, no disease, no calendar, no cruel whisper can take away your right to write it. Philosophers call this the existential choice. Every breath forces you to decide: waste it on regret or spend it on renewal. And if you're rolling your eyes, thinking, easy to say, hard to do, let me tell you, the hard is the point. Struggle is not proof you're failing. Struggle is proof you're still in the game. Take one step. Make one call. Learn one new thing. Smile once, even if it feels fake at first. These aren't just actions, they're rebellions. Every time you do something your doubt didn't want you to do, you're proving age didn't win. You did that. Don't wait for tomorrow, because tomorrow isn't promised. But this breath, this one right here, is yours. And it carries a question: will you waste it or turn it into your new beginning? The journey doesn't end with age. It begins with the courage to start again. And as long as you breathe, you still have a chance. That's all for today. I will make more videos like this in the future. Please subscribe to see more.